I am Jim Collison, and this is the Wellbeing at Work with CliftonStrengths podcast, recorded on March 23rd, 2022. In this CliftonStrengths podcast, we'll look at the strengths, insights, and action planning items from Appendix 1 in the Gallup book, Wellbeing at Work, one theme at a time, and today's theme is positivity. If you're listening live, love to have you join us in our chat room. Just link right above me there for your questions. Or if you're listening after the fact, you can send us an email, coaching@gallup.com. Dr. Jacqueline Robinson is our host today. She works as a Gallup Learning and Development consultant and was the primary contributor to Appendix 1 in the Wellbeing at Work book. And Jacqueline, always great to be with you. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks.
We are spending some time talking about positivity today. Let's
are.
get started with that definition.
Let's do it. So people that lead with positivity have contagious enthusiasm. They're upbeat and can get others excited about what they're going to do.
When we think about positivity in the context of that definition, how does it relate to you? And then maybe how would it relate to others?
So you have a natural optimism for life and can find joy simply in the art of being and breathing. You see that as a gift. Because of your ability to find the good, when it comes to adversity or obstacles, you tend to take a solution-focused approach. And then if we think about how it relates to others, you enjoy lifting others' spirits and might do this through humor or games or your contagious spirited energy, but you have the ability and the desire to uplift others.
Yeah, and I think some folks, this grinds some folks' gears because they see that as maybe being Pollyannish in the sense that always being positive for positive sake when it's not true. Crying wolf is another statement that is used sometime. How do you think, how is that different than that? Just being positive for positive sake? That the individual working on a team, how do they find that positivity without or with it being genuine?
That's a balance I feel that those with positivity have to think about. They might offer a compliment or say something kind or positive, and it could almost seem disingenuous at times. And so it's just grounding that behavior. And just, I think, coming through genuinely where people just go, oh, that's just who that person is. But oftentimes, and that's why I like to loop in this solution-focused mindset, positivity is looking at the glass half full, and that just helps them have that open mind so that they can come to solutions. So likely over time, too, as you're building those relationships, people see that you're grounding that in more than just a positive attitude, but you're finding a way to get through or a way to get through that dark side or to uplift others. I think it's the toxic positivity sometimes you have to be more careful of, is still letting people have that experience and then coming in and shining some light on it.
Sorting to positive outcomes, right? And I don't think positivity, or I would say positivity not equal to happiness. I think sometimes we try to equate those two together. And I think
really good call out.
There's some situations where it doesn't mean I'm going to be happy by the outcome, but it is the most positive one that we can get out of it. What's the best? It almost sounds a little bit like Maximizer in the sense of what's the best I can get out of a bad situation, right?
Yes. I was thinking about that as we were getting prepared for today, was how you almost hear a little bit of that Maximizer in this theme.
Yeah. No, it definitely can sort that way, right? And into getting what's the best possible income and outcome that we can get from this. And I think that best is that it could be that where it shares that with Maximizer. So some good thoughts. We're spending some time thinking about this in the context of well-being. So how does it look when it's thriving versus struggling?
Thriving often looks like being in an environment where you can play to your natural talents, which naturally make you feel good. And I would combine that with also saying thriving comes when you're surrounded by other optimistic individuals who are thrilled by life or find optimism even in the littlest of things. And then struggling is when life hits you or others hard and just shifts the dynamic in the environment. Even in your quest to see the good, the degree with which you can change that dynamic can sometimes feel too significant. So that goes back to your piece about you can be optimistic and see a glass half full, but it doesn't necessarily always mean that you're consistently happy. You're still going to experience emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And another way there's someone with positivity might struggle is being surrounded by individuals that only see the doom and gloom in the world. Um, Very draining.
Or from a choice standpoint, aren't seeing the other choices that are available to them and
Yes.
continue to make the same difficult choices. I won't say wrong or
Hmm.
bad because that sounds judgy, but difficult choices right in that. And so I think there's a great opportunity. And it is one of those. I mean, I think it's one of those where people during this, I mean, the last couple of years been pretty tough. And so
Yes.
could it be hard on people with positivity? You have in the back of in appendix 1 in the back of the book for well-being at work, we kind of work through these best practices based on a well-being element. You've picked
Hmm.
one of those for us around positivity. Let's talk about it now.
I went with career well being for this one.
Mm,
When difficult situations arise at work, look to this person to find an opportunity in the problem. They naturally inject positive energy and inspiration to keep their coworkers motivated, so they can be that boost and come from that solution focused mindset.
mhm. Yeah, that's an interesting selection on career well-being. I think sometimes we
Hmm.
may think of it only in the term of like social,
Hmm.
right? As how and yet those same social factors that play in our well-being, having that positivity or exploiting that positivity talent in yourself or in others
Hmm.
in the workplace. I think for a lot of years we thought maybe that wasn't appropriate. Like I can't be happy at work. Of course, we know that,
Work can't be fun.
right?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, if hybrid's done anything for anybody, I think it's opened up some doors to be able to be more creative with some of those fun things, because fun doesn't have
Hmm.
to happen at 5:30 on a Friday, you
Yes.
know? A happy hour doesn't
Or
have
that
to be
one quarter event that you might have in the workplace
right.
once a quarter.
Yeah, no, some great opportunities too. One of the things I've been working on, my son was working in a really difficult situation, recently changed jobs, and that's done some amazing things
Hmm.
for him. But then meeting with him on now he has more flex time. And so he and I can connect at different times during the week. Of course, my positivity loves that
Good.
because I love to bring that into yeah, let's do lunch or whatever, right?
Mhm.
An afternoon for an hour, pop over there, or he pops over here. So I think some great ways to support that from that well-being element. Okay, let's think about
Yes.
then how do we there are other these this not just I mentioned two, but there's three other well-being elements for you out there in some examples in appendix 1. Jacqueline, with positivity, how can that really be used to
Mm.
support others?
Well, if you're a manager, you're leading a team, you can get a team excited about a goal and make that journey towards completion fun and engaging through humor, games, or that sense of camaraderie.
Mhm.
If you're on a team, you can support team members by being a thought partner and a troubleshooter. They likely count on you to see the good in the situation, and where there's a will, there's a way out. So that's where you can really come in handy. And even
Yeah.
as an individual, you have an internal radar for the situations and people that amplify your energy and that drain your energy. So when you pay attention to that radar, your well being tends to react accordingly as well.
Mm.
It's a good pulse check.
Where there's a will, there's a way out. Is that how you phrase? That's pretty great. I like that. I like that thinking. That's a very positive. That should be hashtag positivity, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's
I
put that
like
on a
that.
billboard.
I like that saying. Again, positivity not equal to laughter. Like
Hmm.
positivity not equal to everyone smiling. I think sometimes,
Yes.
especially in conflict resolution, as you're talking about this, using it with a team, I think where positivity can come in the resolution of a problem, and that doesn't necessarily always,
Hmm.
um, that doesn't necessarily always have people clapping at the end or right. It's the
Celebrating, toasting.
yeah, but it is that positive outcome. A team in conflict that is seeing some resolution is a positive way to reconcile that, and that
Hmm.
can be positivity, right? In getting
Yes.
that done. So, anything else you want to add to that?
Spot on. What you
Whoa,
said.
drop the
Spot
mic.
on. Drop the
In
mic.
In Appendix 2, we have a framework back there. I think it's great for coaching. Our embedded coaches use this in your organization. A great simple framework to walk through as you're thinking about this with positivity. Walk us through one of those.
Yes. So ask yourself, what can I do to show others that I appreciate them today? Ask your team members, how do we celebrate each other's personal and professional successes? And take action. Schedule time for team social events or activities. Um, all of that's still going to increase not just the camaraderie, but going back to outcomes, productivity, creativity, well-being, engagement. So go out there and
Mm-hmm.
shine.
Yeah, I love as you're talking about this, I'm thinking about a situation, this framework is ask yourself, ask your team, and then take action. And I love this idea of
Mhm.
asking your team in a bad situation because they happen. What's the
Mhm.
best possible positive outcome? I don't know why keep saying income on this. Maybe I'm
You're
thinking about
thinking money.
taxes. Maybe I'm thinking about my taxes that are due,
It's
that are
upon you.
ooh, a little Freudian slip on those. But
Yeah.
kind of thinking through this idea of what's the best possible positive outcome that we can have and slowing that
Yes.
team dynamic down. And I think this is where someone on the team with high positivity can help sort this
Mhm.
to give some great positive options. Like, all right, we're in a jam. How could we do this? And getting that team thinking about, because sometimes we just start grinding, you know,
Yes.
on this thing and
And you
kind of
can get stuck in the weeds.
yeah, yeah. From as a leader, Jacqueline, how can you lead a team that's stuck in the weeds? How can you lead them out of the weeds with positivity? What are some thoughts you might have on that?
I think it is that I hesitate to say glass half full approach. We use that a lot, but it's more of that optimistic point of view. To your point, we know where we're at. Let's take more of that 3,000-foot view
Mhm, mhm,
to think about what are some options that we have. So, because they're thinking more optimistically, there's more of that growth mindset of I'm expanding my brain and the way and the different thoughts and ideas and solutions that are coming to mind, as opposed to being so stuck in the weeds that I'm losing
mhm,
sight of that 3,000-foot view. And
mhm,
all I see is the problem and not a way out. I think that's where the manager or that leader can come in with that lens to take them back up to that 3,000-foot view. This is where we're at. Maybe pinpoint something positive that's coming out of that. Um, and then start to think through solutions as a team.
Love that. Anything else that you want to say as we wrap this time up as we think about positivity?
No, I'm appreciative that you're infusing in so much of this conversation around it's not just because you have positivity high doesn't mean you're always happy. You're going to go through those mood swings as well, just like any other person. That aptitude of being able to pull yourself out of it can happen
Mhm,
faster because you're
mhm,
seeing more of that glass half full approach. But that's also the benefit that you can bring to other people so they can drive towards solutions if they're in a
mhm.
rut or drive towards overcoming adversity. So I just appreciate that you've also continued to ground it in something that's tactical and rational and pragmatic, which sometimes people get away from when they just hear the theme positivity.
Mhm. I almost wish we named this inspiration as opposed to positivity in the sense
Hmm.
that, it really this success factor in positivity is about inspiring others, right?
Hmm.
Inspiring yourself and inspiring others to move forward. That's the success in this, right?
Yes.
It's not a feeling, it's a success factor. And that success factor is inspiring people in a positive way to move forward.
Hmm.
And so I like that word inspiration or to inspire. Doesn't look necessarily great written that way, but that's the way I like to think about it. So Jacqueline, thanks for bringing that to us as well. With that, we'll remind everyone to take full advantage of all the resources we do have available around this and lots of resources on positivity. Now in Gallup Access, you can head out to gallup.com/CliftonStrengths for coaching, master coaching, or if you want to become a Gallup certified strengths coach, we do that too. You can send us an email,
Hmm.
coaching@gallup.com. Stay up to date with all the webcasts. If you want to join us live for these, many of you who did today, you can follow us on Eventbrite, gallup.eventbrite.com. Join us on any of the social platforms by searching Clifton Strengths, and we want to thank you for joining us today. If you're listening live, stay around for a little bit of mid-show. We'll answer your questions on positivity and look forward to Relator. And with that, we'll say goodbye, everybody.